So hello everyone, today we're going to discuss about selected value. So what is selected value? So what is selected value? So selected value takes currently selected value from the column, typically from the slicers or the filters. So what does it mean? So let's say I created selected region. Okay, so the region is okay, region. So I'm applying slicer on this. I'm applying slicer on this. Okay. So whatever the value selected from the slicers or the filter, it returns the respective value. So I'm selected Africa. So Africa will be reflected in the visualization. So you might ask, I selected one value under the region column. What if I selected multiple value or no value selected? So what selected value does is, if I selected single value, so it returns the respective value. If I selected multiple values or no value, by default, it returns blank, default blank. Okay. So if you see, if I selected multiple value, it returns blank. Okay. Multiple value, it returns blank. What if I selected no value? I'm not selected any value. So I've just cleared this one. Even though if you're not selecting any value, it returns blank also. So a client task. So if I if I selected more than one or no value, I need to show some alternative value. For that we have to use this alternative value. Okay, option. So what you have to do, for example, I want to show if I selected more than one value or no selection, I need to show no single value selected. Okay, so for that I'm using this alternative value. Here alternative value is optional. Okay, optional. So if client wants, no region is selected, no single region is selected. Okay, because we are not selecting no value here, so it returns alternative value. Whatever the mention in the alternative value, that is reflected here. If I selected more than one value, the same option. So what is your understanding? Once if you have selected a single value, it will show in the visualization. If you selected more than one value or the no selection, so it will return by default the blank. But if you want some alternative value, we need to mention something here, whatever you want. So I mentioned no single region is selected. Okay, because you are selecting multiple values or not selecting any value, it returns no single region selected. So this is the selected value functionality. So what it returns, currently selected value from the columns, typical user in the slicers or the filters. If no value or multiple value are selected, if no value, multiple value selected, it returns some alternative value. It returns, so this is the alternative value, but default, no alternative is provided. No alternative value is provided. Okay. So let us see the scenario. So I need to show sales region, sales based on the region selection. I want to show sales based on the region selection. So selected region, I want to show selected region sales. If single value selected, that is also if single value selected, single value, single value selected region, it will show respective sales. If displayed sales, if multiple regions or no region selected, it returns. If no or multiple, multiple, multiple regions, it returns 0. That is my expectation. So that is my expectation. Let me create that one as well. Okay, let me create that one as well. Okay, let me create that as well. So I created new measure, selected region sales, selected region sales. So what I want to calculate, I want to show total sales. So total sales, I want to show total sales. cells. Which cells I want to show? Selected region, selected region, selected region. For that, LHS equal to, for that I am created a region, created a region. So this is region column. This is LHS. What is the RHS? Whatever the value is selected from the slicer or the filter, that value has to be being here. For that, what I'm doing, how to get that one? Using selected, using selected, using selected value, selected value, selected value, selected value. You have to mention the region column, region column. By default, it will fetch. If I selected Africa center, central will be coming here and checking the center will exist or not. If exist, if exist, the respective sales were calculated. Respective sales were calculated. Respective sales are calculated. So currently, these were the central sales. Central sales. If you want Africa, Africa is selected. What if user selected multiple values? It returns blank. So instead of blank, no value or multiple region selected. It has to show zero. 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 So what I have to do? What I have to do? If by default it show if you selected single or multiple values, no or multiple, it by default, by default, by default, it returns blank. By default, blank. Multiple value, single value, by default, blank. Okay, so if is blank, is blank, is blank, so is blank, selected value, selected value, selected value, region, region, region. So if you have selected multiple value or no value, what it returns? Blank. So is blank. So it is true. It is true. So what I need to show instead of what I need to show if it's true, has to show zero. Else it has to show. There is only three possible, right? Single selection, it returns single value. If multiple selection or no selection, we have default value as a blank. Default value is a blank. So alternative result was zero. Alternate result was zero. Okay, zero. So if I selected multiple value, it has to zero. And if you are not selected any value, it has to show zero. What if I selected single? It returns respect to region value. So this is my expectation. If you really like it, please subscribe or comment your opinion so that I can do more videos like this. Thank you so much for everything.